Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. So we are on reason number 6 out of 10 for the top 10 reasons why homeowners sell their homes. And we're going to talk about the following reason today. And that is neighborhood changes. So the neighborhood might have changed for the worse economically, socially, or physically. For example, maybe the next door neighbors receive visitors all hours of the night, crime rates have increased, or maybe apartment buildings were built nearby. So this is a good one because I can relate to this in both aspects. I can relate to it as when I was a kid, we were that new change to the neighborhood that wasn't too pleasant. And then as an adult, as a family man, I moved out of a neighborhood because of new neighbors. So I'll explain. So my family, well, my mom, she purchased her house in 1995, 27th Avenue in Bethany, and the demographics were much different back then. We were one of the first Hispanic families in the neighborhood, if not the first Hispanic family in the neighborhood. So that was in '95, and then fast forward to about 5 years later, she remarried, and then my stepdad was, you're at the time, I guess what you would consider your typical older Hispanic male. Had soccer every Sunday, had his buddies over, they would hang out, drink out front. Respectable, but just it was all the time. Like every weekend there was a party going on at a damn house. A bunch of cars parked all over, the sidewalk. And then eventually the neighborhood started changing. And then slowly and slowly it just became what it is today. Now it is kind of going back on an upswing, ironically, because of GCU. GCU has done a lot to the values in that neighborhood. And now houses are selling for pretty big, dollar amounts. So sooner or later it'll actually start getting a little bit nicer and cleaned up. It's already kind of getting there. But, when I was in high school, that wasn't the case. And the neighborhood changed. I would say we were one of the beginning families, I guess, of that time. And it happens, like I said, two different cultures kind of meet in the middle, and then it just changes. Fast forward to, 20 years later, 2 years ago, well, 4 years ago, Nils and I purchased our first house in Avondale, over off the 101 in Camelback area. And we loved the house, beautiful house, cool, unique neighborhood. You guys probably drive by there all the time. We lived in a 2-story house where it has like these really nice bay windows that kind of come out. It's like right next door to the old Home Depot, or by the Home Depot right there on 99th and Camelback. So we purchased the house. We were super excited. This is in 2015. Zenaida was just born. She's a couple months old. I think she's like 3 months old. And we're excited. We got this new baby, our first house, and like maybe a year later, some new renters moved down the street, like 6 houses down. And it was just like every single weekend there was a party going on. There was a bunch of cars parked in the street. When they would leave, there was beer bottles left over on the street. They at one point, and this is unfortunate, somebody overdosed. This community had houses where it was 2-story houses and there was basement homes. So they were having a party in the basement. The bright side to that was that we couldn't hear the music because they're in the basement. But somebody even overdosed and passed away in the house. So it was horrible. Like we were only there for a year. So our original plan was to be in the house for 5 years, and then after that happened, we were like, you know what, like we can't do this. We're starting this family. We have 2 young kids, so we sold the house within 22 months. So we got out of there 22 months later, and then we moved to where we're at now. We love our neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. It's beautiful, and we're happy now where we're at. We'll be there for a couple of years. I don't know. I can't say I'll be there. I mean, we've already been there 2.5 years, so who knows? Maybe I get bit by the homeowner bug next year and I buy something else, or I stay there for a long time, because we truly love our house. We love our neighborhood. It's close to everything. It's close to the office. It's close to Isaiah's school, Zenaida's school, and Nils's work and everything. But how many times, have you guys gone through that, right? Like, that can happen. Neighborhoods change for the better, for the worst, and you're in a situation where you don't want to live in that house anymore because you have that one, angry neighbor that just calls the cops on you because you have a gathering, or you have that one nosy neighbor that walks extra slow when they walk in front of your house, or you are that noisy neighbor and you want to be, out in Buckeye or out in Goodyear at a ranch property throwing parties. Like, who knows? There could be different reasons why. But I can definitely relate to neighborhood changes a lot. Like I said, I've been on the plus side and on the downside of that. And if you guys are in that situation now, if you guys think that maybe the neighborhood that you guys are in now doesn't work for you for one reason or another, give me a call, shoot me a text. We can look at your guys' current situation, how much you guys would get out of your current home equity-wise, or if you're a first-time homeowner, once again, there's a ton of down payment programs out there to cover your down payment and take advantage of these extremely low, historically, interest rates. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Take care.